Well, good afternoon. I show that it's noon according to Verizon time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the April 15th Finance Committee meeting. If you are online, and we have two of our council members online today, if you would be sure to keep your devices muted until you're ready to talk. And if you'll use the raised hand feature, then Jennifer will call on you. If you're here in person, if you would make sure you turn your cell phones to manners mode, and please identify yourself when you approach the podium by turning on the microphone and identifying yourself for staff reports and public comment. Just a reminder that we will not be discussing any business that is not currently on the agenda. So with that, Jennifer, if you'll read the first item, please.
Number 6A, application for a retail liquor license transfer of location filed with the city clerk's office for Scooter Scoreboard LLC doing business as Scooter Scoreboard Bar from 507 East Lincoln Way to 619 East Lincoln Way, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Staff report, please.
Madam Chair, Chris Jones, City Clerk. The application before you is to do a transfer of location. The intent is to park the license until the owner can sell the license. They sold their existing building and those folks did not want the liquor license. Therefore, they had to find a new location for it in the process of trying to sell it. And I try to answer any of the questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from committee? Okay, hearing none. Any public comments? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Councilman White has made a motion to approve, seconded by Councilman Cook. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, this item will be moved forward to the city council meeting with a recommendation to adopt. Next item.
Number 6B, application for a retail liquor license transfer of ownership filed with the city clerk's office for Wyoming Pipe Dreams Incorporating doing business as the Lamp Lounge and Drive-Through Package Liquor Store, 101 West 6th Street, Cheyenne, Wyoming. License currently held by WW Enterprises Incorporated doing business as the Lamp Lounge and Drive-Through Package Liquor Store.
Next item, staff report.
Madam Chair, Chris Jones, City Clerk again. This business was sold and the folks that have it now, there's a partnership and they are doing some renovations and they plan to run a bar and a package liquor store as was done before out of that building, but I do think they have a little more, they're trying to work on security and that type of thing in this establishment. And I try to answer any other questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from committee?
Are
I
any
just-
of the applicants there?
Excuse me, Richard. Madam Chair, I had just a comment really.
Sure, Councilman White.
I drove by this location recently and they have already begun to do construction efforts at this location. So it's a welcome, I think it will be a welcome addition compared to what's been there in the past.
I saw that as well. Thank you. Councilman Johnson?
Yes, I was just wondering, are any of the applicants there?
I don't believe so. And I don't know if I don't see them online either.
Okay. So I guess I will just ask, then I'm a no on this, because I wanted to ask the applicant a few questions, just going back a couple of years to the questions that I had in regards to liquor license transfer, how many employees they plan on either hiring or retaining, what those wages are going to be, how much by volume did the current establishment sell, what do they expect their projected numbers to be, the security question, whether or not health insurance or any other kind of benefits was going to be provided to their employees. These were all questions that I had asked in regards to past transfers that we had done after the rail spur that was asked of me to ask every liquor establishment on transfer. So with that, with no one in attendance to answer those questions, I'm a no.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson and Councilman Cook.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. I was hoping the applicant would be here as well. I'm not sure if the city clerk has this information or not, but my understanding is that they are currently closed. They're not currently in operation. Is that correct? Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, through you to Councilman Cook. Yes, that is correct. And I can say that the applicants were aware of the meetings and times. I'm not sure why they're not present today, but I can contact them and let them know that there are questions.
Further follow-up, if I may, just to get my question on the record, Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead, Councilman Cook.
Yes, just City Clerk Jones, if you would, and yes, just for the record, I just was wondering, what their timeline is for going back into operation. I mean, my understanding, like I said, is that they are probably closed while they're doing their renovations. But anyway, yes, it would be very nice. I know the gentleman was there last Monday night. I'm sort of surprised that they're not there today. But hopefully they'll be there next Monday so we can ask them. But that was my only concern, was just how long they would be out of operation.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Thank you.
it's my understanding that they're working fast and hard to get open, so I anticipate it shouldn't be a whole lot longer.
Thank you. Any other questions from committee? Any public comment? Hey, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman White and a second from Councilman Cook. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. With Councilman Cook and Councilman White voting yes and Councilman Johnson voting no, the recommendation from the Finance Committee will be to approve or to adopt at the next meeting of the governing body. Next item, please.
Number 23C, professional services agreement between the City of Cheyenne and DHM Design PC for engineering services for the 15th Street Master Plan project from 2019 to 2022, optional 1% sales tax fund.
Okay, staff report, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the Finance Committee, Tom Cobb, City Engineer. Before you and for your consideration is a professional services agreement between DHM and the City of Cheyenne regarding 15th Street. This is the second component that you all may know for the 15th Street Rail Experience. This is for the construction documents. Basically for the faux track, a pedestrian area, the relocation of curb and gutter, landscaping area, etc. The selection was made with this group because obviously this group is the one working on the Reed Avenue Rail Corridor project, and we're trying to make those two projects marry together. The request for encumbrances of this one, it was stated in here incorrectly in the memo. I had Sam do this while I was on vacation. He references Fifth Penny. This contract is for $153,055. I'm requesting that either this needs to become out of the 6 Penny downtown or a source determined by City Council. And I will leave that to your hands with that. If any questions you have of me, happy to answer.
Hey, do we have any questions from committee? I have a question. Mr. Cobb, do we know how much is left in the 6 Penny for downtown?
I do not, Madam Chair.
I just want to make sure that we have plenty, considering that we have some pretty substantial work to be done in the depot that we've committed to.
Chair, can I also clarify something with Engineer Cobb? I did notice on the attachment A, and I'm sorry, I meant to call you, that there was a different number that was like 199 something. I'm just looking through here for the total amount of the contract. Are we good with the 153 or?
Madam Chair, through you to Jennifer, the answer is It was done as a separate contract, so we broke it into two pieces. The master plan update was separate from the actual construction documents. So the 153 is correct.
Thank you. Sorry, I just noticed that.
Obligated.
Can she come up and speak at the microphone? We can't hear her online.
We can't hear, and I do have my hand raised too. I had a question for Mr. Cobb or Treasurer Lockman.
Yeah,
as well.
Treasurer Lockman's going to the podium, so Councilman Cook she's answering the question about how much money's left, and then we'll go to you.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
was just hoping for a little bit more clarification over that.
Thank you.
Robin Lockman, City Treasurer. So there is about 5 million, a little bit over 5 million left. However, about 2 million has been encumbered for the Depot Museum and for downtown maintenance projects. So around 3 million.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Cook, did you have a question for Treasurer Lockman?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just in reference to Mr. Cobb's comments regarding what funding stream was being used. So he said that Sam from his office referenced Sixth Penny initially. I'm just wondering if that was related to the Sixth Penny that was dedicated to the Reed Avenue. Is that what Mr. Cobb was referring to? I'd like some clarification, please. This is confusing to me.
Councilman Cook, I believe that he was referring to the memo that says that it's coming out of the 1% optional purpose tax fund, the fifth penny.
Right.
And he was clarifying that it actually should have said either the sixth penny or determined by the council.
Okay, so it should have, thank you, Madam Chair. So it should then be, he feels it's most appropriate to go out of the sixth penny for downtown or another fund that we deem appropriate. Okay, thank you very much,
That's
Madam
my
Chair.
humble opinion, yes.
Okay. Councilman Cook, did you hear that? Engineer Cobb said that that is accurate.
But to clarify, if Engineer Cobb can hear me, but just to clarify, sir, we are not talking about sixth penny funds dedicated to Reed Avenue, correct? I want to make sure that those funds are I don't believe this particular area was contemplated when those funds were on the ballot. So I'm just wanting to make sure that we're not talking about those funds in any way, shape, or form.
Madam Chair, he is correct. We are not talking about the 6 penny Reed. We're talking about the 6 penny downtown for this particular project. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other
Thank you.
questions, Councilman Cook?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Cobb.
Madam Chair, there's also a few other things that I didn't think of. The Children's Museum had been allocated some funds.
And that was right at about $100,000, if I remember correctly.
Correct. Hi, Jason Sanchez, Community Rec and Events, just to help a little bit. I believe we had a little over $900,000 encumbered for the depot, 1.4 for the clean and safe, approximately $500,000 for the wrought iron fence along 15th Street, the Children's Museum, and then I think there was some conversation about concrete improvements in the downtown area.
Okay, thank you. We always have lots of ways to spend money. That's for sure. So, okay, any other questions from committee?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
So I guess because the memo states it was drafted on March 8th, it's currently April 15th. And so I guess everything in the memo draws it back to the fifth penny. Now we're being told it could potentially be 6 penny and other council sources. I haven't received any emails, phone calls, or correspondence in regards to this transition before today. So are we expecting a substitute for the completely memo and everything being redrafted for next Monday?
Madam Chair, whatever you desire. I just saw this today, so my apologies. I did not look at this until just before this meeting and saw that he had made the error. So that is my fault. I will ask for a substitution and redo the memo myself.
Okay. Councilman Johnson, is that were you able to hear Engineer Cobb's
Yeah, I
comment?
heard everything he said.
Okay, thank you. Any other follow-up? Councilman Cook, you still have your hand up. Did you have another question?
No, I'm just a moron and hadn't taken my hand down, honestly, but Madam Chair, that's really why, no, that's oversight on my, on my
Okay.
part. No,
Thank
I'm just a big dumb animal. I'm sorry. No,
No
I have no
problem.
more questions.
Thanks. Thank you, Councilman Cook. Councilman White his tongue is bleeding right now. So do we have any other questions from committee? If not, is there any public comment? You see none, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve in an amount not to exceed $153,055.
Second,
We have a motion by Councilman White, a second by Councilman Cook to accept this amount of $153,055. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Say
No.
nay. Okay, Councilman White and Councilman Cook have voted aye, Councilman Johnson voting no. This will be sent to council at the next meeting with a recommendation from the Finance Committee to accept the bid. Okay, next item.
Number 25D, consideration to purchase for an agreement between the City of Cheyenne and Atomos Technologies for providing daily cover on the active working face of the City of Cheyenne Happy Check landfill from the solid waste fund.
It is a Monday. Staff report.
Good afternoon, actually. Sam Quattrini, landfill manager. So this is a purchase agreement between the city and the Atmos Technologies for a 1-year supply of material and equipment for a spray-on alternative daily cover at the landfill. The cost is of a total of $270,000, which would be covered by the solid waste fund. This technology is considered a sole source, so bid were not requested. Based on our, we did a 2-month pilot study this past winter. Based on those results, I recommend approving this contract, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from committee?
Madam Chair.
Councilman White.
Just a couple of questions. I read the professional services agreement, sir. Could you tell us why this is a good alternative compared to what's being used now? I did see a couple of things, but I just kind of wanted to hear it from staff on the ground.
Madam Chair, through you. Thank you for the question. So this helps us save on the most valuable asset that we have at the landfill, which is airspace. So if every day which what we're doing now, we have 2 ways to cover dirt, to cover the trash. We use dirt or we use tarps. We are bound by permit to cover with dirt at least once a week. And our active phase is varies between 60 and 80 feet by 100 feet. So, and we are required to use at least 6 inches of dirt. So that's a lot of earth moving and airspace that we're consuming. With the foam, basically we are getting away with a 0 airspace loss, at least 4 days a week, which adds up at the end of the year of a lot. Also, plus this machine is only 1 man operated instead of 2 people, which would be an excavator and haul truck. So we can redirect those resources on different tasks at the landfill. I hope I answered the question.
Any other questions, Councilman White?
No, you answered it. And I'd be curious as to what the calculation would be as to saving the dirt for 4 days a week, what that total airspace savings would be over the course of a year. But it seems like it would be a good investment. So no further questions.
Any other questions from committee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
Can TJ come up to the podium, please?
Yes, he's on his way.
Okay, I'll just ask my question and hopefully you can hear me. So looking at the release dates to the media, and after we pulled this off the agenda last time for sole source, everything is in compliance in regards to all our legal actions on sole sourcing for this project, correct?
Chairwoman Aldrich to Councilman Johnson. This is TJ Bartlebort, Purchasing Manager. Yes, this consideration to purchase this before you has fully complied with state statute and city purchasing policy. So we are 100% ready to proceed with this consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from committee? I do have a couple of quick questions for you. Sam, one of the questions I had was, it looks like from the picture, it requires a specialized machine to apply this. So does this bid include the use of that machine?
Madam Chair, that is correct.
Okay, and then I also wanted to know, when I had the opportunity to visit your facility, there were several employees who are known as pickers that pick the trash that blows up off the landfill to the netting. Is this going to result in any lost positions or positions that will go unfilled for those picking positions?
No, actually, their tasks will, they're gonna be the same. The only change will be in the operator part, but no, in terms of redirecting them to do other work that the landfill needs, such as stormwater maintenance and other tasks that we can use them to get them away from the day-to-day work. This will actually be very beneficial on that end too. So,
Great,
yeah.
thank you. Any other questions from committee? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve in an amount not to exceed $270,000.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman White, a second from Councilman Johnson. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, this motion has been passed unanimously and it will go with recommendation at the next meeting of the governing body to accept this bid. Next item, please.
Number 25E, consideration of bid number S-2-24 for an agreement between the City of Cheyenne and Asphalt Preservation LLC for the 2024 Surface Seal Project Number 1 from 2019 to 2022 optional 1% sales tax fund.
Okay, staff report, please. It's on.
No. Sorry. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Doug Klon, City Construction Manager. For you today is the proposal for a contract for this surface seal. This project is part of our pavement management program, and it's following up on approximately 30 centerline miles of crack seal that was performed 2 years ago. And this is just the next step in the preservation. We did receive 2 bids for this project, with Asphalt Preservation being the low bid. And the amount of that bid was $1,791,141. This project has been reviewed by staff, and it's our recommendation that we move forward.
Okay, are there any questions from the committee?
Sorry, yes, ma'am.
Okay, Councilman Johnson?
So, Doug, if we're looking at your map in regards to that neighborhood that's off of East Pershing and Converse, is that going, that overlay through that neighborhood, since we already were working on the Airport Parkway project? Is that going to trap everyone in that neighborhood, or do the schedules coincide that people should be able to get in and out of there without their entire neighborhood being destroyed at one time?
Madam Chair, through you, Councilman Johnson, it does coincide with the Airport Parkway project, but because you have more than one access in and out of that neighborhood, we'll be able to coordinate construction with that so that we don't lock anybody in. And this surface pavement, or the surface treatment in this case, is a slurry seal, so it's a very fast moving process. They're able to do several blocks in a day where they come in the morning early, and as folks leave for work, they can take over that street, get that done, and have it reopened by the time they come back from work. So it goes pretty quick.
Any further
Okay, thank
questions,
you.
Councilman Johnson?
No.
Okay, Councilman Cook, it looked like you had a question.
No, I was really, that's weird. I don't ever want to say that I'm sharing a brain with Richard, but I was thinking the same thing, honestly, because I work in this area, as you know, Madam Chair. I use the airport parkway and everything every day, so I am very keen to the difficulties of getting in and out of here right now, although the work is going to be magnificent when it's done. So I actually was thinking the same thing, but Councilman Johnson beat me to the punch on that question. So
Okay.
I had nothing further.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Cook. Any other questions from committee? Any questions? Any public comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the bid in an amount not to exceed $1,791,141.
Second.
So we have a motion from Councilman White, a second from Councilman Johnson. To accept the bid, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, sorry, was there any more discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed. Okay, this item will move forward to the next council meeting with a recommendation to accept the bid. Next item, please.
Consideration of bid number E-14-24 for 1.5 cubic yard rear load dumpsters from the Solid Waste Fund.
Staff report.
Vicky Nemechek, Public Works. This is a request for 120 dumpsters. The total amount is 78,360. These are basically replacement dumpsters for those that have worn out, rotted out the bottoms, and that we can no longer repair. Happy to answer any questions. The money will come from the Solid Waste Fund.
Hey, thank you. Any questions from committee?
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may, through you.
Sure, Councilman Cook.
I don't know if this is a relevant question, but if these are replacements, I've always wondered, Director, what are we able to do with those ones that we take out of service? Do we sell those? Do we use them for scrap? I mean, what are we able to do with those? And that's just a curiosity. I realize that that's not really germane to the bid, but I'm just curious as to what we do with those.
Vicky Nemechek, Public Works. We do scrap those out to a metal contractor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from committee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Councilman Johnson.
Vicky, can you please send council how many of dumpsters as well as other trash receptacles that may have been damaged in that windstorm so we can expect maybe our next cost in regards to damage after the windstorm?
Through you, Chair, we didn't have any dumpsters damaged in the windstorm.
Are you thinking trash receptacles?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. So as far as dumpsters, trash receptacles, anything that involves putting garbage in it, if no dumpsters were damaged, then that's good. But as far as other trash receptacles, if you could just send us a list, please.
Carts, I would say all we have are carts, and we'll get you a number if you'd like.
And I
No
think
problem.
that I'm assuming Councilman Johnson, you're including ones that went missing as well
Well, they're
Yes,
found
please.
sometime, at some
in
point.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other
Maybe
questions from
pipeline.
committee? I did have a follow-up question. Would you be able to let us know how much we're able to recoup when we scrap those on an average? I'm just curious if it offsets the expense at all. So, any other questions? Any public comment? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the bid from Coyce Brothers Equipment in an amount not to exceed $78,360.
Second.
So we have a motion from Councilman White, a second from Councilman Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 This item will be recommended at the next meeting of the governing body to accept the bid unanimously from this committee. Okay, next item, please.
Number 25G, consideration of bid number E-15-24 for furnishing bituminous asphalt, hot mix, tack oil, and cold mix on an annual basis for the City of Cheyenne Street and Alley Division from 2019 to 2022 optional 1% sales tax fund.
Okay, staff report.
Vicky Nemechek, Public Works. This is our annual bid for asphalt hot mix, tack oil, and cold mix. We do receive these on an annual basis. The hot mix and the cold mix are going to be coming from Knife River for a total of $438,750. And the tack oil will be coming from Simon Contractors for a total of $14,400. For a total of $453,150 from the fifth penny sales tax. Happy to answer any questions.
Hey, are there any questions from committee? I did have one. Is that really common to purchase one item from one bid and one item from another bid? That seems a little odd.
Chair, to you, TJ Bartlebort, Purchasing Manager. This bid has always historically been awarded that way, where we award by, instead of a lump sum, low cost basis overall, we award it by product just because it's just a commodity product. So if there's cost savings to be had and we can find it cheaper elsewhere or between different vendors, we do that. And they're technically unrelated in the way that the products are pulled on the days that they're getting them from the manufacturer. So we can do it that way and it does provide a cost saving. So it is, in this situation, it makes sense. Other bids, depending on the nature, we don't do that where we do the lump sum out the door lowest cost award. So in this case, that's how this bid has historically been done. I think it's just been that Knife River or Simon has happened to win them all previously. So it might be the first time you're seeing it that way.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions from committee? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Didn't know I'd be reading like that. Madam Chair, I move to accept the bid from JTL Group, Inc., doing business as Knife River for the purchase of bituminous asphalt hot mix in an amount not to exceed $382,500 and cold mix in an amount not to exceed $56,250, as well as the bid from Simon Contractors for the purchase of tack oil in an amount not to exceed $14,000. The total $14,400, excuse me. This would be a total amount for both bidders and an amount not to exceed $453,150.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman White, a second by Councilman Johnson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, this item will move forward with a recommendation to accept the bid to the council meeting on Monday night unanimously from this committee. With that being said, we've accomplished everything on our agenda. Have a great afternoon and this meeting is adjourned.